In this video, I want to take a look at a game which I played last week against an opponent which I've played many times, and I have a very good score against him. So the opening was a French Denfence, and here I played b4, the wing gambit, which is not really that bad, or at least not bad in the same way that the wing gambit in the Sicilian tends to be. My opponent played knight c6, although I think more challenging is to capture the pawn. And well, if you play a3, queen a5 is very annoying. Maybe it's not the best move objectively, but it is pinning the pawn, so you cannot recapture because you hang the rook. And if you go d4, well, then you take with check. And after something like bishop b2, well, there's two pawn breaks in the French Denfence when you play the advanced variation f6 and c5. Obviously you cannot play c5, so if you go f6, then after the pawn takes, this bishop is becoming pretty strong. So after knight c6, pawn takes, bishop takes, you're gaining a tempo on the bishop. And now c3. My opponent continues developing, bishop d3, and now we have a novelty, knight f5. Up to this moment we had been following at least one game between two grandmasters, and I believe in that game bishop d7 was played, and here the engine likes bishop a3. After knight f5, well, I'm not really sure what the knight is doing here, because in the French Denfence you want to put a lot of pressure on the d4 pawn, but that's only because there is no pawn here. So the knights and usually the queen put pressure on it. Here the bishop is putting pressure on it, but it's defended by the pawn on c3, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. So I just castled. I think Rybka likes this move, bishop a3, just preventing black from castling. And now g5 by Rybka, which is just extremely aggressive. And h3 is playable, but I think even stronger is just g4. But I don't think my opponent was going to play that aggressively. And now we see another move by the same bishop, and you can see the evaluation. What is just much better? I think just bishop d7 continuing with development is just better. Although the idea behind this move is actually logical. You want to attack this pawn so that if this knight moves, then you take it. But you can follow up with queen c7, rook c8, and if you can successfully take on c3, then black is at least equal, because now the d4 pawn is going to be a target. So here my opponent played queen b6. So now, well, first of all, Rybka again prefers this move, g5, and well, I guess there's several ways to play this. You could put the rook here, or you could just go h5 and g4. So a sample line would be something like this, which is alien chess, I suppose. So here I went queen c2. There's two ideas. One is I'm just defending the pawn so that I can get this knight into the game. Also, if this knight ever moves, I might take on a h7. So now we have bishop d7 and bishop c5 attacking the queen. And here pretty much all the engines say queen d8 is much better. But for a human, it's not really what you want to do. Queen c7 is the more logical move. And here I played g4. Now, I could have played bishop takes, knight a3. And if you play something that looks, I guess, kind of normal, like bishop e6, well then you're just pretty much losing. After check, both king f8 and king d8 are just completely losing. King f8 apparently is better, but now you can take either on b7 or f5 with check. So after g4, my opponent goes back. Now I develop my knight, and here my opponent blunder with castles. I guess it's understandable if you castle on this side. Well, that's a check, and well, there's plenty of games in the French Denfence in this type of structure where black just gets crushed with a mating attack. So I can't really say that I blame my opponent for castling queenside. And here I played this move, rook fb1, which one of the engines that gives this move a double question mark. More accurate is to play bishop d6, and if you go queen b6, now you go rook b1 and you're winning the queen. Now here my opponent blundered and I still won the queen because, well, bishop d6, and here my opponent resigned. Now the reason my move is not that good is because here you have bishop e8, and now the queen is safe on the d7 square. So I hope that you liked the video. If you did, like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.